What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantel. So I know I haven't done a video in a while. I've been, busy with holidays and stuff. But I'm here to do some year-end videos, starting with, of course, my top 10 favorite movies of 2017. Now, 2017, I think, has been a fantastic year for movies. I've seen a whole bunch of them, but keep in mind, I haven't seen everything. I haven't seen everything I think I should have seen. I won't be able to see a lot of those till January, but as of right now, I think I have a pretty solid idea of where my list is going to be at. So, this is going to be my top 10 movies of the year. I'm not saying these are the best, just for me personally, these are my favorites. Now, before I start, I want to throw out a few more honorable mentions. There were a ton this year, so I'm going to try to rush these out as fast as possible. So, honorable mentions go out to
Wind River, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, American Made, John Wick Chapter 2, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man Homecoming, the Lego Batman Movie, Lady Bird, Detroit, Logan Lucky, Only the Brave, Marshall, The Shape of Water, and Beauty and the Beast.
So, with that out of the way, let's get to the list. Number 10. After The Dark Tower fell, I was hoping one Stephen King movie this year would get it right, and it absolutely did. And to think, it was so close to actually not making my list. I nearly bumped this for Wind River, but I think the reason I put it on instead was because I think this hit me more personally because I did actually read the It book, which, not exactly a page turner, but still a pretty good read. Goes off the rails at some points, but I digress. What I think worked about it is that it was respectful to source material, it cut what it needed to, but kept what it should. And really, it transcends being just a horror movie. It is a very effective horror movie, but it's also a great coming-of-age story and a story about banding together. It's a great harken back to Spielberg, and it's a great harken back to what people think Stephen King to be. So yeah, it was fantastic. I think it's infinitely rewatchable. I actually saw it twice in the theater, once in IMAX, which, let me tell you, is absolutely terrifying. Number 9. Proof that Pixar can truly hit emotionally when they're not making Cars movies, Coco. Coco was vibrant, it was lush, it was fun, it was emotional, and I think seeing this and coming from a Latino family, it's great to see us get some representation in there, and I thought that was amazing. I thought the world of Coco was fantastic. I thought the characters were great, the music, and that ending, that one gut punch at the end, really just sealed the deal for me. It was fantastic, and like I said in my review, shoo-in for best animated feature of the year. Number 8. It's funny, I could tell you, I've seen this trailer so much, I could pretty much quote it from start to finish. I was really looking forward to this movie, and really it didn't disappoint. That's The Big Sick. The Big Sick, it's one of those rom-coms that really transcends the genre because it's accessible to everyone. This movie is quite possibly maybe the funniest movie I've seen this year. Has some great performances all around, great writing. Kumail Nanjiani, I saw him on Silicon Valley, and I loved him on that show. He's someone that, if he's not on your radar, he should, because this dude is a star, as a writer, as a comedian, and even as an actor. The dude's fantastic. He shines, as everyone in this movie, from Ray Romano to Zoe Kazan to Holly Hunter. This dude, everything across the board in this movie just hits, and yields a very fantastic product with The Big Sick. Number 7. Great action, fun characters, cool soundtrack. Oh yeah, we're talking Baby Driver. I'm a massive fan of Edgar Wright. I've loved every single movie he's made to date, and Baby Driver is no exception. Although it is refreshing to see him get some mainstream success, because this is probably his most successful movie to date, and you can clearly see why. The movie is fun. It's got so many smart touches, from just numbers in the background to graffiti on the walls. It's just amazing. It hits on all levels. Ansel Elgort is fantastic. Jamie Foxx stealing the show as the character of Bets. Even He Who Shall Not Be Named is fantastic in this movie. Not to mention that soundtrack. That soundtrack, though, kick ass. Number 6. A sequel to one of my favorite movies of all time. I was very cautious going in, but as soon as I saw the end product, I was happy this got made. I was happy I saw this. Blade Runner 2049. I know the world of Blade Runner is hard to get into, but as someone who loves the originals, one of my favorite movies of all time, I was completely captivated by every shot of this. Every shot, every scene, every character just sucked me in and didn't let me go for the entire thing. Ryan Gosling is fantastic. Harrison Ford was great in this movie. I saw this movie on my birthday on the biggest screen I could find, and it was fantastic. I was completely engrossed from start to finish. And not only did I think I would never love Blade Runner sequel this much, but I never thought I would actually want Blade Runner 3. Credit where credit's due. Number 5. The ending chapter to one of the greatest trilogies of modern cinema, War for the Planet of the Apes. Granted, that title is kind of misleading because it's really not about war, but really, that's something I've grown to love about these Apes movies. They're really not what you expect them to be. What this really is a story about revenge and what happens when you let feelings like that consume you. Not to mention, you got great performance captures, the greatest human performance ever in these movies from Woody Harrelson, and not to mention Andy Serkis as Caesar, the best the dude has ever been. Is a clear case for why motion capture actors need to be considered for Oscars. Number 4. A movie about the making of one of the worst movies of all time. That's right, The Disaster Artist. I've been looking forward to this movie for a really long time as a long-time fan of The Room, and I gotta tell you, The Disaster Artist was funny, it was heartfelt. I said The Big Sick might have been the funniest movie I saw this year. I lied, it's actually this. Not to mention you got an award caliber performance from James Franco as Tommy Wiseau, and really where I give this movie more credit is because you don't have to be a fan of The Room to understand this movie. Like, I saw this movie with my mom, brother, and sister. None of them have seen The Room, and they enjoyed this movie. They can't stop quoting it. Oh, hi, Mark. Number 3. Movie I saw really early this year that I knew instantly was going to make my top 10 at the end of the year. That's Get Out. Speaking as a person of color, I think this is relatable to me more personally, just because I've been in the situation where I'm the only person like me in the room, and you think to yourself if this suddenly turned into a Klan rally, that's my ass. This is, as someone who's not a huge horror fan, I loved this. This movie had a great insight to racial relations and social conventions. Had a lot of nice, smart little touches. Went so many directions that I didn't see coming. I was engrossed from start to finish. I've seen it a few times, and really it's a different experience once you watch it more than once. I genuinely look forward to what Jordan Peele is going to do next. Number 2. I'm a big fan of comic books, and a big fan of comic movies. This is not just my favorite comic movie of the year, but one of my favorite comic movies of all time. That's Logan. Logan was the gratifying, dark, gritty Wolverine movie that I think all of us fans have wanted for years. And seeing it on the big screen, seeing it in full rated R force was gratifying in so many ways. The violence, was great, but what really works about the movie is the heart, the relationship, the closure that a lot of the relationships get. Hugh Jackman is at his best Wolverine in this movie. Patrick Stewart is at his best Professor X in this movie. Daphne Keane as X-23 was fantastic. This movie, I think, when we look back at the greatest superhero movies of all time, Logan's going to come up in a lot of conversation for that, as it should, because this is one of the few superhero movies that actually transcends the genre to just being a great movie overall. And my number 1 movie of 2017. This is a movie that really, for me, it hit emotionally on more than just one level. It made me laugh, made me cry. It made me reflect on the movie as soon as it was over and really for days after. This is a movie I thought about for a very long time. As a movie that's going to stick with me, I'm just going to stop talking because you already know I'm talking about The Last Jedi. A little predictable that a Star Wars movie is going to make my list. I know you guys are waiting for it, but I mean, what can I say? The more I think about The Last Jedi, you know what, it does have its problems, but the more I think about it, the more I just don't care because I do love the movie. What it does right, it gets really right. I mean, it does some things wrong, but all the movies did things wrong. But that doesn't mean they're less. Doesn't mean they're not great. It just means they have some flaws in them. But all movies have flaws. But Last Jedi, I think, is the movie that the Star Wars franchise needed. It was different. It was risky. It was dark. It was an evolution this franchise needed to go through. It has the best version of Luke Skywalker I have ever seen put to film. Not to mention the great female protagonist in Rey, a great send-off performance in Carrie Fisher as Leia, and a great starting point for new Star Wars movies to come. So that's my list, guys. Thank you for watching. This will likely be the last video I do for this year, and I just want to say, for those of you who watch my videos, thank you for giving me the encouragement to keep doing movie reviews, because I like doing this. It's fun. It's a good hobby for me, and I hope to keep doing this in the future, especially because I do have more videos planned about this year in review, but that'll come down the line. Until then, thank you for joining, and